Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today we're starting the amazing story written by Millar, which covers the story of a young man named Huck. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification button to be notified when I drop a new video. Now, let's get into it because this is one of my favorite Millar books. We begin our story with the truck driving down a highway when one of the passengers notices that something is on top of their truck, but the driver made it clear that he didn't hear anything. But honestly, there was someone on their truck. Huck was on their truck. But he wasn't just hitching a ride, no. He was going somewhere because he was leaping from truck to car. He was moving like Spider-Man, and he was stable. He didn't just have crazy agility, he had speed as well because he was running through a city, and before you knew it, he was on the outskirts. He had incredible speed, Captain America level speed. Well, like I said, he was going somewhere. He was going to a cliff because he just straight up dived from that cliff into the ocean. And again, he could hold his breath for a long time. Huck was basically superhuman at this point. But what did he want? He was searching for something. Scraping through the bottom of the ocean, he found what he was looking for. Something precious, something delicate that he held in his hand and smiled. The next day, we see him ringing a bell. And before the person that owned the house could open the door, he was gone. She opened the door confused, but there was something left for her. She looked at her husband and said, "Hey, I found the chain I've been looking for." As for Huck, he smiled because he knew he had done a good thing. A few days later, the lady who had just gotten her chain back was invited for tea at the old woman's house down the street. She was confused as to why she was invited so suddenly, and the old lady simply made it clear that, "Oh, we're here to talk about Huck. You see, Huck is a special boy." She replied, "Yes, I know. Isn't he special needs? That's why he's always quiet." But the old lady laughed and said, "No, he's not special needs. He's quiet, but there's a wisdom about it." She goes on to explain that Huck is a very incredible boy. He is superhuman, like we discovered before. She once saw him pulling a car out of a ditch with his bare hands, running cross-country like a missile. But Shorty simply said, "Mrs. Tyler, stop playing. That is impossible." But Miss Tyler said, "I assure you, I'm telling you the truth. You see, a few years ago, we received a child on the foot of an orphanage with the note that said, 'Please love him.' Being good people, they raised that boy to do one good deed a day. For all of his life, he has never failed that promise. He is good at finding things, especially. If you noticed your chain that has been missing, he found it, and she was shocked. So it was him that brought my chain to me." And yes, it was really Huck. We see how his life goes from Monday to Tuesday. Monday, he helped a farmer remove a stump with his bare hands. Tuesday, he helped everyone with their trash. Wednesday, he used his salary he saved up to get everyone food for the day. Everyone. Thursday, he was in the middle of the road looking confused, and she almost hit him with his car. That is why she is very sure he is a madman, because that is sure as shit what normal people don't do. He apologized when she got off the car and said it's my fault before leaving her in the middle of the road. When she told the old woman just smiled and brought out a newspaper, showing her a report that read a missing fisherman was found safe and sound. Yes, Huck had found him. For one reason or another, he was good at finding people, and she was shocked and confused at the same time, which is why she asked the granny, "Why does he live like a poor man then? Why doesn't he use his ability to make money?" But the old woman smiled again and simply said, "Well, he doesn't see money as that important because to him, making people happy is the best reward he could ever get in his life." And he was extremely proud of the man he has grown up to be, which is why every morning before he goes to work, he writes a list of good deeds to do for the week. First good deed, leave $50 in a library book for a stranger to find. Second good deed, mow all the old people's lawn. Third good deed, take Ralph's shift so he could go home early. Fourth good deed, leave a note for Mrs. Blake telling her she's been brave after overcoming her surgery. But before he could finish his list, he saw the news about Boko Haram's attack in North Africa, kidnapping 200 schoolgirls, and he thought to himself, wait, my fifth good deed could be this. And so what does he do? He hops on a plane, heading straight for Nigeria. And not just anywhere in Nigeria, the outskirts, the forest, the abandoned areas where Boko Haram laid camp. We see the 200 girls that were kidnapped, and one of the soldiers were trying to make conversation with them, making them feel like they should be happy and honored for being kidnapped. He made it clear that the school have been corrupting their minds, and now they were going to be made wives of all his boys. But none of the girls were even looking at him. They didn't care what he had to say because something more entertaining was happening behind him. Before he could turn around though, all his men were down. He was shocked, but he failed to comprehend that someone was behind him right now. And he turned around as fast as he could, shotgun in hand, but before he could use it, he lost it. Huck just simply took it out of his hand at incredible speeds and simply uttered one sentence. "Take off your glasses, please, sir." The soldier looked at him confused. "What do you mean, take off my glasses?" But Huck didn't answer. He simply bent over and took off the gentleman's glasses carefully and launched him in the air with one punch. He took off the glasses so they don't blind him by shattering and piercing his eye. All through and through, Huck was nice, even to the bad guys. When he was done cleaning up this mess, he called to the girls with a bag full of candy. He let each and every one of them know that they were safe, but simply said, "Please, could you promise me one thing?" And we learned what that promise was, because when the reporters came and said, "Who saved you? Who freed you from bondage?" all the girls simply said the same thing. "We can't tell you. We made a promise." And just like that, Huck saved the Chibok girls. And back home, everyone watching the TV knew this was Huck's handiwork. The young lady was explaining to her husband, but her husband didn't hear nothing except cha-ching, because he knew people would pay for this information. So him and his wife did the unthinkable. The next day, Huck was woken up by sounds and people on his front lawn. His dog was also on his chest. Confused, he went to the window to check it out, and what he saw was a mob of camera reporters. They had finally found the mystery Good Samaritan that has been doing a lot of good deeds around the globe, and they wanted to hear his story, which was exactly what Huck did not want.